Hey everybody, what's up? Circus here. We got a special video for you today because a good friend of ours that's in our tournaments all the time, Candy Crusher,
Yeah.
who is a big Megalith fanatic, I guess you could say, did really well in the Casey Cup, and we wanted to talk about it. And I brought in Rye because he seems to be the only other person in the world that knows how this deck works. So how you doing, Rye?
I'm doing good. Pretty excited that another ritual deck is doing well. People that know me, I love ritual decks. I think it's a very underused mechanic in Duel Links, probably for the better because it's a very, it doesn't really work. It was made when Duel Links was, or not even Duel Links, but when Yu-Gi-Oh was such in a young state. We're like, yes,
Mm-hmm.
this is going to be the way because look at this. You're bringing these big monsters without tribute summoning. It's insane.
Right.
Um,
But it
and that
takes
just
all these
never
cards
really
to
worked.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So really excited to see the Rocks do their thing.
Now, Candy Crusher, like I had mentioned, has been playing in our tournaments for a while,
Hmm.
and I was kind of surprised to see his name up on the leaderboard because I'm like, isn't that the
Yeah.
Megalith guy? And
Yeah, I think that's what I always said. Isn't that the Megalith guy? And then I think PDS said, yeah. And guess what he's playing? Megaliths. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, sure.
so we reached out to him to do an interview, and he just said, I'm a little camera shy, so I said no problem, and he sent over a great write up of his experience in the Casey Cup, and um, basically he just started playing and started doing well and didn't even realize he was in first place
Those are the
until the end
best.
of day one.
And you hear that happen so many times with people that just never intend to do Casey Cup. They're just like, you know what? After day one, I was in such a good place. I was like, it's such a waste to not continue going. At the very least, get top 100. He got top 10, which is really, really nice. For all things considered.
Yeah, so he sent us some screenshots so we can, of course, have proof because we love proof, right?
Naturally.
Because we'd never believe him otherwise. No way.
I mean, I took him at face value, but Circus, he needs the proof.
I need the proof. Here you go. Times dueled 405, victories 244, winning percentage 60%, and consecutive victories 11. So he beat Neg in a few key areas here. Consecutive victories, he ended with 11, where Neg was at like 7, I believe.
Mhm.
Winning percentage, Neg was at 58.58. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Winning percent is probably the most important statistic when
Yep.
it comes to KC Cup. The higher your winning percent, the less actual times you'll have to duel to actually place high. Obviously, because of the nature of KC Cup, you can have literally a 50% win rate and still rank high. That's what happened a couple KC Cups ago when Vindrids were top 100, but the guy had like a 51% win rate. He had like
Oh,
700 duels on file or something.
right. Just
So
ridiculous.
these stats are pretty gosh darn good. I mean,
Yeah, they
that's
are.
60% win rate's really good. Consecutive victories is insane. That means he clicked the duel button 11 times in a row and won 11 times in a row. That's even crazy just for COG standards. So
Well, it was
really
pretty
cool.
funny because he did take a little shot at Neg. It was funny because he was like, I only had to duel 405 times.
Yeah, I
I
mean
thought that
that's
was funny. That was good.
that ultimately comes down to your winning percent, which 60%. That's really really good.
Yeah. All right. So let's check out his final ranking here. So global ranking was 10. So he made the top 10. So he gets a gold icon, right? And
Yep,
then he was number one EU. And if you
there you
look
go.
at number two,
Oof, good old Sniffus trying to make Dark Lords work. Just
yeah,
kidding, he did not
there
play Dark
is
Lords.
our boy Sniffus. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a look at the deck list that he used. He sent this to me, and it
Mhm.
is this.
Yeah, so this is his perfect deck list he's been working on for a long, long time. Basically, this is actually a Cyber Angel slash Megalith deck. The very kind of key interesting thing that he did though is he is not running the Dakini, which he used to run before, and other players that have played
Mhm.
Megaliths have been playing the Dakini. Decided to totally take that out and just focus on the Binton search potential. I guess kind of to go over what megaliths themselves do, starting with the actual megalith monsters.
Well,
They're
hang on
all
a
ritual
second,
monsters.
right? You
Oh,
said
oh,
this
go ahead.
was a ritual deck.
Yes,
Where are the spells?
the spells are in the complete first row and partially in the second row.
What? I
You have to
don't
wear glasses
understand.
to see them. Yes, it's crazy. So the megaliths, There's two versions of the megaliths. They're the 8-star megaliths and the 4-star megaliths in Duel Links right now. There are two 8-stars, Bethlor and Felix. You can see one at the very, very top, and you can see the other one, the first card in the second row there. Those ones, when you discard them, they act as the ritual spell card without actually being on the field, which is pretty cool. They activate from the graveyard at that point.
Hmm.
So then you can ritual summon a ritual monster from your hand using materials on the hand or board, and all you have to do is discard the level 8s. So already that's super cool. And then the level 4 megalith monsters, they have that effect, but on the field. Once they're on the field, it's an ignition effect. You click on them, and now you can ritual summon using monsters you control on the field or your hand by just triggering the effect of that monster on the board.
So the idea is just to
Super,
speed
super
up
cool.
the ritual summoning mechanic.
Exactly. So, so this is kind of like, all the ritual decks wish they didn't have to play both the monster and the spell. They could just play one or the other. Either have the monster in the extra deck or something, or just have them be like this where the monsters are the spell cards. So super interesting. Sinju, of course, in most ritual decks, you see people play Sonic Bird, Sinju will let you search any ritual monster. So
That's
when
huge.
your
Yeah.
when your monsters are your spells, so let's say you have a whole handful of level 4s, you summon Sinju, you pull a level 8, there you go. Now
You're
you now
going.
you can just get going
Yep.
from there. And of course, the bin tin can be used as a ritual fodder. And of course, if you read all of the megaliths, they're like it can be the same level or exceeding it, so it doesn't have to be exact, which is how bin tin is being able to be played. Ben 10 can search herself. She can search the Sinju. I think she can search any fairies, is her thing. So very, very powerful to thin your deck and just to be used as just generic material. Moving forward, it's not once per turn, so you can constantly keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, and you can really fill your graveyard specifically with ritual monsters, which is super, super important because the first level 8 we're going to talk about, the Felix,
Hmm.
he boosts all of your monsters on the board by 300 attack for every ritual monster in your graveyard. Not every unique ritual monster, every ritual monster, period. So after you see a long chain of megalith combos and this guy hits the board, it is very common to see him near 4,000, 5,000 attack, and then you look off to the side and there's a 4,000 attack Sinju, and you're like, what the hell is going on? And that's usually when people start being like, whoa, this is actually a real deck, because that Sinju is very powerful,
Right.
very strong. My Wall of D isn't going to do anything. He's still going to be like 3K attack. I don't know what I'm going to do against this. So that's kind of like the first kind of combo that you got there. The other level 8, the Bethlor, however you say his name, when he's summoned, he can pop cards on your opponent, target and pop cards on your opponent's field. Can be traps, face down, face up, monsters, whatever, based on the number of unique ritual monsters in your deck.
Which can be,
So
or in your graveyard, which can just
or in
be
your graveyard, yeah.
huge, right? I mean, it can be like 4 or 5,
Yeah,
whatever.
you
Yeah.
can. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unique ritual monsters, so you could get up to potentially 6 pops. Probably not going to happen, but most of the time it's usually around 3 or 4 pops that you get, which is still huge.
Yeah, I was
Because
playing on the ladder today, and the guy was playing Megaliths, and yeah, he had 3, but luckily I had Fiendish Chain.
yeah, well, there you go, and then you just stop the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll usually see around 3 or so.
Yeah.
But of course, that in itself is very powerful. But you're gonna kind of see a synergy here with the one of that he's playing there, the Oach. The
Hmm.
Megalith Oach is level 4 that has the quick effect of being able to ritual summon. So that means you can ritual summon on your opponent's turn.
Which is just
Now, for
crazy.
those that are very observative, you're kind of seeing where the combo comes in now. So,
Right.
ritual summoning on your opponent's turn, you drop a Bethlor on the field. It's like, oh God, tactical nuke just got dropped on
Yep.
my board. You know what's going on? So that's kind of where the combo starts. The other two, the Haggith and the Ophiel. Again, I don't know how to properly say these names. This is just me doing my best. So you
Sounds
guys can
good.
correct me if you
No
want.
one knows the truth. Just
The Haggith, the darker colored one there, when that one is summoned, you get to search for your spell and traps. There are 2 very important ones. You can see he's playing one of each. The field spell, the portal. That one makes it so when your megalith monsters are going to be destroyed by battle once per turn, they're not destroyed that very first time. And then super important, when you special summon a monster, not ritual summon, special summon in general, period, you get to add a one of your ritual monsters, one of your megalith monsters from your graveyard to your hand.
Okay.
And then the other one, the trap, the emergence, every single turn you can special summon a megalith monster. Of course, it has to be properly summoned from originally. That's how all rituals work. They have to be properly summoned first, then you can special summon them from the grave. You can special summon once per turn. So the combo. Oh, and then I should also mention very briefly, this one isn't as huge. Ophiel, when she's summoned, you can just search a megalith monster, which basically just lets you continue your combos. You can search another level 8 to discard it in ritual again, or you can search when you're missing level 4s. Probably the least useful out of all of them, but you still need to have it at 3 just because it's like, okay, this is just how I continue the combo from all of them. So the combo is to go through all of your summons, right? If you're going first, immediately on your opponent's turn, flip up the trap. The trap lets you summon the Oach. The Oach is now on the board, and then potentially you would have discarded the Bethlor earlier. If not, the Oach actually has another effect where you can draw, discard one, so you could potentially top deck it and discard it right away. And then the portal lets you add the Bethlor to your hand. So now you've got everything you need. You got a graveyard full of materials for your Bethlor effect. You have a hand full of materials to summon that Bethlor, and then you have the Oach established on the board, waiting. And that's actually in the replay in the other video that we saw. That's what happened, and that's where he failed. That's when he got double Cosmic Cyclone and wasn't able to pull off the combo. And then, yeah, from there, whenever your opponent is about to either go crazy at the synchro summons or about to end his turn, he sets 3 cards face down. Quick play, activate the Oach, summon the Bethlor. Bethlor hits the board. You pop a whole bunch of cards. Your follow-up turn, you can use the emergence again. You can just bring back Felix if you used them earlier, and that's OTK right there. You can just bring back materials to lead into Felix. That's going to be OTK right there. Your Benton probably searched every single Sinju in your deck, so you can just summon like crazy and get all these monster effects. And that's pretty much the idea of the deck. You want to try and get into that one huge combo. If not, you can at the very least get the Felix instead of Bethlor, and he just increases all your monsters' attacks by an enormous amount. That's just insane. And then your opponent just can't swing into you. That's where it kind of comes in from there.
All right. So in his comments, Candy Crusher was saying that he did really well on day 1 and 2 because people didn't know how to play against the deck. They didn't see him coming, basically. So that was his advice: was you're gonna be play really hard on day 1 and 2 with a rogue deck, basically, because people won't be ready for it, and you'll catch them by surprise.
Yeah.
But then don't play day 3 because then they will be ready for you, and that's where he lost the majority of his points was that day. And
yeah,
I get
day 1 and 2, it's everyone's like, all right, I watched all the videos, read all the guides. I know what's going to happen in this KC Cup. If you're a rogue deck player, you want people to be overconfident in what they think. If you want people to be memeing saying, oh yeah, Neo's Cup, here it comes, because it's like, here we go. They don't know what's about to happen to them.
right.
You know what I mean? So
And
I
then
totally agree.
he said the biggest problem with the deck is it loses hard to witchcrafters, where he would just auto surrender. He just said as soon as he saw his witchcrafters, he would just drop out. He said by day 3 it was really bad.
Yeah. So literally, he's playing 21 cards.
Yeah.
So 19 of his 21 cards are monster effects.
Right.
So yeah.
Negate.
Yeah, I mean, one well-timed negate could potentially ruin everything. It also comes down to game knowledge. If you've never seen Megaliths before, you're not sure what to negate. You could easily slip things through. I actually talked about this on stream. It's kind of with the same idea back in the day when I played Noble Knights a lot. One of the key things that I won was the Subterror meta. It wasn't even the deck. It was literally my opponent would go first, set up his board, and then he would not have his toggle on, and I would immediately seal Tomb, and he loses. That's it. It doesn't matter what deck I play. He's done. He messed up.
Right.
And once you got closer into that day 3 situation, people started being like, okay, Seal Tomb is a skill, and I need to immediately be toggled on. So it doesn't matter if I'm a rogue deck, a meta deck, whatever. It's just how things, shifted. And I'm sure that would, he could say the same in his experiences. People know who you are. People know what your deck you're playing. And people are going to be playing way more cautiously and not loosey-goosey in day 3 because they want to keep their points that they've earned.
And then in the Neg 1 video, he was saying when he had played against Candy Crusher many times, and he said he was playing Tri-Miz with Power Sync Stone. And he said he would get that set up on his first turn, and then do all the effects in the draw phase, and this guy would just scoop automatically
Yeah, you just have no
because
effects. Yeah,
basically what it does is
that's so
negate
funny.
all your opponent's effects.
Yeah,
So
and
that,
Trimits, of course, if you open balance, probably will let you open two of them. You activate two of them right away. GG.
right.
So
So yeah.
really, really cool. Of course, I didn't mention Trishul is also in this deck.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen him pull it off in tournaments, but I could see it if he gets floodgated very heavily. He could use that,
Right.
I'm sure. But overall, really cool deck. I love virtual decks. I'm probably gonna mess with this deck if XCs is not that amazing. I might go back a little bit in this deck and be like, all right, you know what? This might be a fun little
I
cog
went
deck.
through the box once. I have a lot of these cards. I would only have to buy it one. Go through the box one more time. I'd be set.
Yeah, that's why I'm right there with you. It's like I really just need the Beth lures. I just need one more Beth lure, and then I'm good. So.
Well, I think it's safe, Rye. Maybe it's not. You tell me. Can we king this king of the rogue decks? Or
Um, it's kind of rough to say because Trimids is kind of in between rogue and tiered status right now. It's kind of
yeah,
like it's like, are you a tier deck? Are you not a tier deck? Are you into me? Are you not into me? Type of situation
right.
with them. I guess if you ignored Trimids and said they are a tier deck, then yeah, I would say this is definitely one of the better rogue decks out there.
Yeah, I keep
Um,
forgetting Triman's got second, whereas this got 10th global.
yeah, and Trimids, they, at least in tournament play, can't do a whole lot. And then, yeah, just kind of looking at this deck list, anyone that's not ready for this deck, it's kind of the same situation with Ritual Beast. It's turn 2, and he's still playing his cards. What's going on?
Right. How
So
long
it's
is this going to
definitely,
last?
and then all of a sudden, oh God, there's 3 6,000 attack monsters on the board. How did that happen? What happened?
Right.
And but
My
usually
wall
I
of
think
D does nothing.
so it's definitely a good rogue deck. It's going to catch a lot of people off by surprise. It's one of those decks that's it's got the power to stay. So even if people figure out what it does, there's so much text on these cards that it doesn't really matter if you figure it out because there's always going to be a new player that's entering the scene that's going to get destroyed by it.
Right.
So it's if you're bored and XCs is good, or if you're bored and you spend money on this game and you don't really care about saving resources, you just want to play something for fun, definitely
Mhm.
recommend picking up this deck. It is extremely fun, and it will win you games just because off of people's ignorance. At least for now. It might change if everyone starts doing that, but for now,
It's the
um,
best way to get your wins.
it's the best way to get your wins.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. I hope you guys like this little deck profile that we did, and congratulations to Candy Crusher. I mean, it's great to see you do so well. So
Born and bred by DLE, baby. Let's
that's
go, another
right,
one.
right. All right, you guys. If you want to play against Candy Crusher, you know what you gotta do. You gotta get in our Discord because that's where we host all of our tournaments, and they're always free to play, and you can win a little bit of money on the side. Good
There
time.
you go.
All right, we're leaving. See you later. I'm Circus. That's right.
See ya, YouTube.